You know, if you told me that you didn't really believe this was happening, I wouldn't blame you. The idea of a Mario movie coming out so soon after the Sonic the Hedgehog films had taken off felt as if it was a splash dash, money grabbing, attention stealing move that didn't have much thought put into it. Though, that notion has been challenged somewhat by the recently revealed trailer for the Mario movie. Keep in mind, we have heard that the original release date for the film had been delayed a bit, which is surprising to hear now because, man, that film looks outstandingly good compared to what I was expecting. And it was still delayed for quality, so they weren't happy with what they had, presumably with what we saw, to maintain a level of quality. Which is a very good sign, because speaking of the Sonic films, I'm sure no one has forgotten how that originally came off when it was revealed, and then they had to backtrack that. But focusing on Mario here, an all-CGI approach will certainly help it stand apart from other video game adaptations that prefer to put a live-action model into the real world. This time, the film is all CGI, all in this creative, colourful Mario universe, and it might help it retain more of the game's integrity, their feel and identity, compared to if it was just Mario elements in the real world. Not too much unlike the original Mario movie, and if you did not know, there is a very old Mario movie, but it's not like this one at all, so look into that if you're interested. The character designs on display looked very on model to their game portrayals. Very well detailed as well. You'll see in the Koopa army there are subtle varieties in their builds, their bodies, not just their clothing, but yes, the attire they wear is also reasonably varied. I'm unsure if that will be prominent throughout the film. If it is, someone spent a lot of time modelling those individual Koopas and whatnots. But either way, it looks good. It definitely gave it a feel of individuals in the army rather than just faceless Koopas, even though at the end of the day they could have just gone with that and it wouldn't have been a problem. Bowser looked excellent, the way that his hair flows in the wind, the size they gave him, his claws, his spikes. Design is great. It looks like Bowser, there's nothing wrong about it. Mario looks like Mario as well. His face animates more than we're used to from the games, but the model itself very much invokes the feeling of Mario. Nothing is weird or seemingly altered for the sake of being different here. The Koopa army has their intimidating entrance, but with some comedic moments, like with the Afraid Guard and their little fight with the penguins. But this air of danger largely implies that Bowser will not be a pushover for this film, which is good to see. Of course, it's not that Bowser is all doom and gloom and serious. We see him get very excited when he obtains the Power Star, he's very snarky when responding to the Penguin King, but the point is that his force is shown to be powerful and dangerous. They could have just made him a clown, comedic villain, but they don't seem to be doing that, at least not purely. We don't know, we've only seen that one scene, but it looks hopeful. And the attack on the Penguin Kingdom actually gives us a good glimpse into the struggle of other kingdoms beside the Mushroom Kingdom that we're so familiar with. Obviously this is to set up the inevitable invasion, but also just as a side effect, it might give us some expansion into the world building and lore of the Mario universe, since the games are renowned for being very light on their story and connections to their past. Perhaps this film will let us see a bit more of the Mario world that would be officially sanctioned by Nintendo as well, which would be a very interesting turn of events if so. Although it's clear that we're not seeing the film from its beginning in this trailer, based from the dialogue, it's possible that the Mario in this film is taking inspiration from some of his older interpretations by having him come from an Earth, New York sort of background, an origin story, because we hear him talk about, "Ooh, what is this place?" as if he's never been there before. And it seems to be that the Toad he is with is guiding him to the Mushroom Kingdom. for whatever reason. Maybe it's a call to action, that they're under threat from Bowser. I'm not sure why Mario himself would have been chosen for that. Maybe he was just hired to be a plumber, or maybe he fell into here some way, somehow, and the Toad found him and decided to help him out. Who knows? But it seems to be an interesting setup for the story. Overall, I would say that this trailer looks pretty good. It suggests that the film's going to be a solid origin story, and we're going to get to see numerous aspects of the Mushroom Kingdom realized on the big screen. At the end, for example, we see Luigi running through what seems to be one of Bowser's territories, traced by a bunch of dry bones, so good to know that we're going to get a variety of enemy types shown off here as well. But there's not a whole lot of negative points I have to say. I liked the presentation, I liked the character designs, and although we have only breadcrumbs to go off of, I think I'm going to like the angle they're taking the story. A good balance of comedy and actual committed plot threads. Though one slight criticism, which could become a bigger criticism over time, would be Mario's voice. I know it's a meme that everyone likes joking about with Chris Pratt and everything. I'm not about hitting a dead horse, but it doesn't invoke anything Mario to me. It's just a guy. And even if they are taking the just a guy everyman Mario perspective, it just feels so strange to have him have a vanilla voice when everyone knows what Mario sounds like. And if they weren't going to do his game voice, you would have thought they would have done a sort of Brooklyn, New York voice, if that's what they're doing with his backstory here. But this accent isn't super Brooklyn, it isn't super Italian, it's just there, you know. And especially at the end where he says, "Mushroom Kingdom, here we come," I thought they would have said, "Mushroom Kingdom, here we go," because it's Mario. Missed opportunity. We'll see. The other voices were a lot better in my opinion. The Kamek Magic Koopa, that was great. Toad himself definitely sounded like Toad. Bowser's voicing history's been a bit everywhere, to be honest. Sometimes he just grunts, sometimes he's grumbly, sometimes he's relaxed. So it's hard to say this sounds like Bowser, this doesn't, but it doesn't sound bad, right? The only one that gives me pause is Mario from what we've heard. But yeah, trailer looks surprisingly good, and before I didn't really care about the Mario movie, but now I'm pretty interested in seeing more of it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you a fan of Mario, and are you interested in the movie? Perhaps you don't believe it has any standing at all. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. I hope to see you next time. This is the Mighty Emperor, signing off.